Have you ever wondered why the hardest moments in life often teach us the lessons we remember forever? Sometimes, when everything seems to be going wrong, we feel completely alone. We wonder why opportunities disappear, why nobody understands us, and whether our life will ever change. But what if your hardest season is not the end of your story? What if it is preparing you for something greater? Today, I want to share a powerful story inspired by the timeless wisdom of Buddha. This is a story about discovering your strengths, controlling your thoughts, protecting your goals, and becoming stronger through difficult times. There was once a young man who was determined to build a successful life. He had studied hard and worked with dedication. After completing his education, he began searching for a job because he wanted to support himself and his family. But no matter how hard he tried, opportunities kept disappearing. He applied for one job after another. He traveled from place to place. He attended interviews and asked people for opportunities. But every time, he received the same answer. No. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. And slowly, the young man began losing hope. He had the knowledge, but he could not find an opportunity to use it. He had determination, but he could not see a path forward. One evening, exhausted and disappointed, he was walking along a quiet road when he noticed a peaceful meditation center nearby. Outside, an old Buddhist teacher was speaking to a group of students. The young man stopped and listened. The teacher said, "Sometimes life must completely change before something new can begin. When everything seems to be falling apart, do not immediately assume that your life is over. Sometimes the destruction of the old is the beginning of something new." The young man listened carefully. The teacher continued, "There will be moments when nobody helps you. There will be moments when you ask for an opportunity and people turn you away. There will be moments when you feel completely broken. But remember this: your darkest moment does not necessarily mean that your story is ending. It may mean that your life is preparing to enter a new chapter." Those words touched the young man deeply. After the students left, he approached the teacher. "Sir, I have tried everything," he said. "I studied hard. I searched everywhere for work, and I tried it again and again, but nothing has worked. I feel completely lost. Please tell me what I should do." The teacher looked at him calmly and said, "If you want to change your life, you must first change the way you approach it. There are 7 principles I want you to understand. If you practice them consistently, they can change the direction of your life." The young man listened carefully as the teacher prepared to reveal the first lesson. The teacher looked at the young man and said, "The first lesson is simple, but it can completely change your life. Discover your strengths." Before you ask yourself how to become successful, you must first understand what you are naturally good at. Every person has different abilities. The problem is that many people spend their lives comparing themselves with others. They see someone else's success and try to follow the same path, but that path may not be meant for them. The teacher pointed toward a large tree nearby. "Imagine," he said, "that a squirrel, a horse, an elephant, a bear, and a deer are standing beside this tree. If I asked all of them to climb it, who would reach the top first?" The young man immediately answered, "The squirrel." The teacher smiled. "Exactly. Now tell me, would the elephant be a failure because he could not climb the tree?" "No," the young man replied. "Then understand this: the elephant is not a failure. It simply has different strengths." The teacher continued, "Human beings are the same. You do not have to become someone else to succeed. You have your own abilities, your own experiences, and your own strengths. You must discover them. Ask yourself what you can do well. Ask yourself what kind of work keeps you focused. Think about the skills you have developed over the years. When you understand your strengths, you stop wasting your energy trying to become someone you are not. You begin building your life around your own abilities. That is where real progress begins." The young man listened carefully. The teacher then said, "The second lesson is to take control of your time. If you want to change your life, you must learn to control your day." Many people wake up without a plan. They check their phones, scroll through social media, answer random messages, and waste hours without realizing it. Then the day becomes busy, but nothing meaningful gets accomplished. You do not need to wake up at an extreme hour just to prove that you are disciplined. What matters is waking up at a consistent time and using your morning wisely. When you wake up, know what matters. Decide what needs to be done. Choose your most important task and start working on it before distractions take control. Spend a few quiet minutes thinking about your goals. Create a simple plan for the day, and then take action. Do not allow your day to be controlled by notifications, entertainment, or other people's priorities. Remember, you cannot control how many hours exist in a day, but you can control how you use them. And when you learn to control your time, you begin taking control of the direction of your life. The young man nodded. He was beginning to understand that success was not only about finding an opportunity, it was also about becoming the kind of person who was ready when the opportunity finally arrived. The teacher looked at the young man and continued. The third lesson is to train your mind to see the future you want. Your thoughts influence your actions. If you constantly tell yourself, I cannot do this, or I will never succeed, your mind begins to believe it. But when you change the way you think, your behavior begins to change as well. Every morning, take a few quiet minutes to think about the person you want to become. Imagine yourself becoming more disciplined. Imagine yourself completing the work you keep postponing. Imagine yourself becoming confident and reaching your goals. This does not mean that simply imagining success will make it appear. Your dreams still require action, but visualization can help you focus your mind and give your actions a clear direction. Before you begin your day, think about your goal, and before you go to sleep, remind yourself of what you are working toward. Then ask yourself one important question. What can I do tomorrow that will move me one step closer to my goal? Your mind needs direction. Give it one. Give it one. The fourth lesson is to choose positive thinking, the teacher said. Your attention is your energy. Be careful where you spend it. If you spend your entire day thinking about people who criticized you, rejected you, or tried to bring you down, you are giving them control over your mind. You cannot control what other people say, but you can control how much attention you give them. Do not waste your energy trying to prove yourself to everyone. Do not spend your life trying to win every argument. Do not constantly worry about who likes you and who does not. Focus on your work. Focus on your growth. Focus on becoming better. Positive thinking does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. It means facing problems without allowing them to destroy your confidence. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can this teach me? Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? That small change in perspective can completely change the way you handle difficult situations. The teacher paused for a moment and then said, there is another important thing you must understand. Not everyone deserves to know what you are planning. Your goals are precious. Protect them. When you have a new dream, you may feel excited and want to tell everyone about it. But sometimes, talking too much about your plans gives you the feeling of success before you have actually achieved anything. You tell everyone what you are going to do, and after receiving their attention, you feel satisfied. But your life has not changed. Remember this. Your goals need action, not applause. Work quietly. Improve quietly. Let your results speak for you. The teacher continued. Your fifth lesson is to protect your goals. Not everyone will understand your vision. Some people may discourage you. Some may laugh at you. Others may tell you that you will fail. You do not have to fight with them. You do not have to convince them. Just keep working. Let your progress become your answer. When you have a goal, do not waste your energy trying to get everyone's approval. You are building your future, not theirs. The sixth lesson is to work hard, but work in the right direction. Hard work is important, but hard work without direction can waste years of your life. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain. Your goal is to reach the top. You could start climbing straight up without thinking. You might work extremely hard. You might become exhausted, and you might even fall several times. But what if there is a safer and smarter path to the top? You could reach the same destination with better planning. Life works the same way. Before working harder, ask yourself, am I working on the right thing? Is this the best approach? What skills do I need? What can I learn from people who have already achieved this? Is there a smarter way to reach my goal? Hard work matters, but strategy matters too. If you spend years moving in the wrong direction, simply working harder will not solve the problem. Learn, adjust, experiment, improve, then give your best effort. The young man asked, "Teacher, what if I work hard and still fail?" The teacher smiled and replied, "Failure does not always mean that you should stop. Sometimes it means that you need to change your approach. If one path does not work, learn from it and find another." The person who learns from failure becomes stronger with every attempt. The young man nodded. He was beginning to understand that success was not about avoiding every failure. It was about refusing to let failure become the final decision. The teacher then said, "There is one final lesson you must understand. Take care of your body and your mind. You cannot build a strong life with a neglected body and an exhausted mind. If you never rest, never exercise, and constantly overwhelm your mind, eventually your performance will suffer. You do not need an extreme routine. Take a walk, exercise regularly, practice meditation, spend some time away from your phone, sleep properly, give your mind time to breathe. When your body feels better and your mind becomes calmer, your ability to focus improves. And when your focus improves, your work improves." The teacher looked at him and said, "Do not try to change everything in one day. Start with one principle, then another. Small improvements, repeated consistently, can create a completely different life." The young man thanked the teacher and returned home. But he did not immediately start looking for another job. Instead, he began thinking deeply about the first lesson. What am I truly good at? For several days, he asked himself this question. He thought about his childhood, his education, the activities he enjoyed, and the skills he had developed over the years. He realized that there was one ability he had always been naturally good at: sword fighting. He had practiced it many times in the past, but he had never considered it a serious skill. Now, he decided to take it seriously. He began training every day. He practiced his movements. He strengthened his body. He studied technique. He trained his mind to remain calm under pressure. At first, progress was slow. There were days when he felt exhausted. There were days when he made mistakes. There were moments when he wanted to stop, but he remembered the teacher's words. Discover your strength. Work hard. Stay focused. Keep improving. So, he continued, day after day. His skills became stronger. Month after month, his confidence grew. Eventually, he became an exceptionally skilled swordsman. People began noticing his ability. His reputation slowly spread beyond his hometown. One day, a powerful ruler heard about the young man's extraordinary skills. The ruler was looking for talented warriors and invited him to join the royal army. The young man accepted the opportunity. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. But there was something different about him now. He was no longer the same young man who had been walking from place to place, desperately searching for someone to give him a chance. He had discovered his strength. He had learned to control his time. He had trained his mind. He had learned to protect his goals. He had learned to work hard in the right direction. And most importantly, he had developed patience. The ruler respected his abilities and gave him a position in the army. With his new career, the young man was finally able to support his family. His life became more stable. But the greatest reward was not the money. It was the understanding he had gained during his difficult journey. He finally realized that the period he once considered the worst part of his life had actually pushed him toward his true potential. The rejection had taught him patience. The failures had taught him persistence. The loneliness had given him time to understand himself. And the closed doors had forced him to search for another path. This is something we often forget in our own lives. When something does not work, we immediately think that we have failed. But sometimes, a closed door is simply redirecting you toward a better opportunity. Sometimes, the path you wanted is not the path you need. And sometimes, the hardest chapter of your life is preparing you for the chapter that changes everything. So, if you are going through a difficult time right now, do not give up. Maybe your current situation is not the end of your story. Maybe it is preparing you for something you cannot see yet. Remember the 7 lessons. Discover your strengths. Control your time. Train your mind. Think positively. Protect your goals. Work hard in the right direction. And take care of your body and your mind. But there is one final lesson hidden inside this entire story. Do not measure your life only by money, success, or recognition. Real success is also about finding peace within yourself. You can have everything you once wanted and still feel empty if you never learn to appreciate what you already have. Your desires will always continue. When you achieve one goal, another goal appears. When you earn more money, you may want even more. When you receive recognition, you may start searching for greater recognition. There is nothing wrong with having ambitions, but if you are always waiting for the next achievement before allowing yourself to be happy, you may spend your entire life chasing something that never feels enough. Learn to appreciate what you have while continuing to improve. Be grateful for the people who genuinely support you. Be grateful for the lessons your difficult experiences have taught you. Be grateful for another chance to become better. The young man eventually understood that his greatest transformation did not begin when he received the opportunity from the ruler. It began when he changed the way he looked at his own life. He stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and started asking, "What can I learn from this?" That question changed everything. So, if you are struggling today, remember his story. You may feel lost, but that does not mean you have no future. You may have failed, but that does not mean you are a failure. You may have been rejected, but that does not mean you are worthless. Keep learning. Keep moving. Keep improving. Find your strengths. Protect your focus. Use your time wisely and never allow one difficult chapter to convince you that the entire story is over. Sometimes, the moment when you feel completely broken is the moment when you finally discover how strong you can become. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter could be the one that changes everything. So, take the next step, then take another. You do not have to change your entire life in one day. You only need to make one better decision today than you made yesterday. Keep it going. Your difficult season will not last forever. And one day, you may look back at this chapter and realize that the struggle you wanted to escape was actually the experience that helped you become the person you were meant to be.